Welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be doing a detailed video. Right now I am looking at the video and looking at the camera, so it's going to be kind of difficult. I'm going to be looking down and then looking up. So right now, right here, I am just lining my brows with a eyeliner pencil. I usually kind of like go and fill in the brows. I don't completely trace it like all the way around because I don't like the box brow look. I like my brows to fade a little bit but then be darker at the ends. Excuse me. I like for them to be darker at the ends. So that's why I'm kind of like looking, you know, to see which way I'm going. I start from the end and then I work my way to the middle. I've come up here at the front. See, now up here, I don't usually do this. I don't know what I was doing. I think I was just freestyling, and I realized I did not like it, so I went back and I wiped it off. I usually just only do the ends, but I leave the bottom of my front brow up here in the corner. I always leave that bare, and I just kind of conceal around that to create that illusion like I went and drew that part in. The thing about doing your brows is that if you are, you know, tracing them and, you know, kind of lining your brows however you want, look, there is plenty of different ways to do your brows. Like, it's all about how you want to do them and what works for you. If you are doing your brows and you make mistakes, that is what concealer is for. It pretty much clears up your mistakes. Now, if you have too many, let's say you have this real thick, bold brow and you try to go around it with concealer, it ain't gonna do nothing but make it look even bolder. So don't try not to make too many mistakes. Like, don't put too much, you know, eyebrow pencil on it to make it too thick. But, you know, you kind of learn along the way. So for beginners, like, just make sure you are really, like, not putting too much product on your brows, especially if you have hair there. If you do not have hair and you got to fill in as much as possible, then do that. So right now I'm going with the lighter shade of concealer. I did a video last weekend of me doing my makeup using that shade of concealer and I hated it. I low-key wanted to delete the video because it wasn't pretty. I do not like using like a very bright concealer, but that's all I had. The concealer I use on the top of my brows is what I usually do. That is an old bottle. Like, I barely was able to scrape that much. That's why it's not as much product above my brows, which I like it because it kind of is close to my skin tone and it's not too much I used. But I really do like the way this came out. Now, I do use a brighter shade of concealer on my eyelids because if you're going to be using colored eyeshadow, it's going to help it pop more. So the lighter the concealer you use on your eyelid, the brighter your eyes will pop. Now, as for going above your brows, try not to use too vibrant or too bright of a concealer because then it's going to be hard for you to blend out with your foundation and you're going to walk around here looking like the ghost to hide, and we don't need that. So I went back and put some more concealer on my lid to start a base for my eyeshadow. You can either use eyeshadow base primer or anything like that. I use concealer because it's the same as using a actual base that's made for eyeshadow. It's the same thing. It really doesn't matter what you use. But using concealer is the best way. Darn hair getting stuck in my darn makeup. So right now I'm just blending everything out. Make sure it is blended and dry. Not necessarily dry, but as blended and as somewhat matte as possible. You don't want to put eyeshadow on wet concealer because it will not blend and it's gonna be a mess. It's gonna be very atrocious, so you don't want that. Right now I am taking a transition color. It is a light brown, kind of orangey shade. Y'all know I love that color shade in that eyeshadow palette. I use it for almost everything, any and everything. So I'm just going in the creases, and I didn't speed up this part of the video because I wanted it to be very detailed, and I wanted you guys to actually see what I do and how I apply my eyeshadow. But yes, I'm starting at the edges in the corner to give that crease look. Like I said, it's more like an orangey brown color. And at this point I'm tapping lightly, and I'm also kind of slightly blending it out. I'm not blending it out too much because I will be adding more eyeshadow, and I kind of want to make a transition of the eyeshadow colors that I'm going to use. So I want that brown to blend it with the next color that I'm going to use. And again, this is a transition color. You're barely going to see this color once you're done with your eyeshadow, so it don't even matter. Next, I'm going to use that dark purple. I put that directly somewhat on the top of the brown, the first color, and then I blended it out. First I patted in, and then I kind of lightly shaded out, like going in a circular motion. Now when you're patting in your eyeshadow, you want to make sure you're lightly tapping in. Do not, like, you know, try not to use too much product at one time. You can kind of, like, you know, layer it if you want to, and then go back, as you can see, go back and like blend it out some. Excuse me, I just ate some chips, so yeah, I'm going back, I'm patting it in and blending it a little bit more. As you can see, it's just like this kind of, not real thick, but it's like a dark line. I went and what am I doing? I think I was watching a video. Yes, I was watching a video. I'm like, why am I sitting here just looking at that? It makes no sense. Y'all give me a minute. I'm just moving slow, chat. So I wanted to go in and blend out that harsh thick line with my transition shade I used before I put that one on, and then I went later with an orange shade and kind of blended it out. Right here I use a orangey purple looking color. Well, the first time, well, actually you don't see that because I cut it out the video because it was a mess, but I went in with that same transition shade that I used the first time to kind of go somewhat on my nose, like the bone of my nose, and in front, like, and up to the front of my brow, just so I can transition better. Alright, I added some more purple in the corner to really darken it some. Now I'm not sure if I added, yeah, yes I did. I think I added a brown shade for first, then a darker brown, then it's purple. I can't remember, I'm gonna be honest with you. So if you go back and watch the video, you'll see it. I really don't even know. Let me sit this down so I can eat my chips because I'm hungry, y'all. I kind of do this one. Yeah, I was watching a makeup video while I was doing my makeup. And this was a freestyle. This wasn't planned. Like, I didn't know what I was going to do. That's why you kind of see me, you know, kind of stalling because I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. One of my favorite snacks is pickles and chips. I'll take 2 big pieces of chips, like so. Put the pickle right on top. Okay, it broke. It's alright. Like this, and I eat it like that, like a little sandwich. Y'all think it's nasty? For the pickles and chips lover, if you like pickles, you'll like this. Okay, right here I'm cutting the crease with that same concealer shade. Now with cutting your crease, all you doing is kind of just, I'm lightly tapping in a circular motion. That's how you cut your crease. Some people could just literally just do this and not mess up. Me, I want to make sure I don't mess up too much. I want to make sure I know what I'm doing, you know. Right here, again, I'm freestyling, so I start out going in a circular motion and then I go up into a wing like that. That was not planned. I had messed up and I said, wait a minute, I kind of like that look, so I did just, it went like this. I didn't want a full curve, I just kind of did like that. So you'll see it in a little bit. See, that's where I messed up at. It wasn't supposed to be like that, but it turned out cute. These pickles salty and these chips salty. I should have got the dill pickle, regular dill pickles, but I don't care, it's still good. Oh, good. See, there's a brand new bag of chips, and look how many chips they put in there. I only ate like about a good 8 pieces of chips. That's a rip-off. Okay, so right here I'm cleaning up my crease, and then I went back in with that dark purple and put it at the edges so it can kind of go in like this. For some reason, I really like doing my eyeshadow like that. I have no idea why. And see, my eyelids touch, so you can barely see my eyeshadow, like when my eyes are open. But when they close, you'll see what I did. But I hate the fact that my eyelids touch. I don't like that. But anyway, so I'm cleaning it up with a concealer. I'm patting it in some more. Okay, right here I'm gonna take this magenta color and I'm gonna put that all over my lid and blend it in with that dark purple. I put the same kind of color that was close to the magenta color, but in a shimmer. It's more like a glittery shimmer color. I put that on the lid, and then I went back with a pinker shade of a shimmer color right on top of it so it can really make it pop. Right now I'm getting ready to do my eyeliner. I did not wing it. I just kept it, I kind of cut it off, and I put black eyeshadow on top of my eyeliner to mattify it, and so it will stick and not, you know, touch when I open my eyes. It won't touch, mess up my eyelid. And then I blended the edges of the liner into that purple that was in the crease of my eye, in the corner of my eye, I should say. And when you're doing your liner, you got to keep a steady hand, baby. You have to really get used to touching your eye, because when I first started doing it, I was like blinking a lot, and once you keep doing your makeup, you'll really know how to touch your eyes, so it ain't gonna really be an issue. So this part is where I'm putting the black eyeshadow on. See that, how it made it matte and dry is what I wanted. I don't like wet looking or shiny looking eyeliner. I like my eyeliner to be dark, and I mean jet black. Even when it's jet black, I'll go back and add black eyeshadow on top of it, just cause. Okay, right here I'm putting on my lashes. Now, let me explain myself. Yes, I'm using baby doll lashes. I hate baby doll lashes, but I cannot find my mink ones. So I took 2 baby doll looking lashes, decent looking lashes, and I didn't line them up. I did like this to them, so that way when I take my, what is this, spoolie? Yeah, and I brush them out to make them look a little minkish. So at the top, you can tell they're, like, looking at them now, you can tell that they're baby doll lashes. But I brushed them out so they can look a little minkish when you're looking directly at me. So I did like this to them instead of lining them up, to where they make them look fuller and darker. Alright, so this part here I sped up because y'all know my routine. It's the same old routine. So right here, when you're putting on your foundation, you have to find something that's closest to your skin color. I have dry skin, so I'm supposed to be using hydrating foundation. Is that the Dewy Smooth? Is it? No, this is the matte poreless. I'm not even supposed to be using matte foundation, but that's all I have. But it still worked for my skin, so it wasn't too bad. But if you have dry skin, use hydrating primer and foundation, and if you have oily skin, you use mattifying primer and foundation. But when I put my foundation on, I kind of tap on both sides first and then go and blend it in. And then when I get up here by my brows, I go slow, because it's easy to get foundation on your eyebrows and it'll mess up your eyebrows. It'll be a mess. So, but yeah, I blend with the butt of the sponge really good. I like using brushes to blend as well, but I don't like, I just, not for this look, I guess. Okay, so this is my old concealer that I told you about, that I use on the top of my brows. I put it on the outside and a little bit on my nose, forehead, you know, all the highlighting spots. I didn't put it above my lip because I didn't feel the need to. And then I thought I cut this part out of the video. What the hell? I thought I cut all of this out. Okay, well, when I get done with this, shooting this video, I'm gonna cut that part out, because you're not supposed to be seeing me get up and stuff. I hate that. I must have forgot this part, I'm not sure. Anyway, so I went back with the lighter shade and into the inner corner of my eye, so my concealer will pop more in certain places. So I did a darker shade on the outside and then a lighter shade on the inside, and then I went in a little bit in my highlighted spots. I didn't OD with it because I didn't like the way my last makeup look looked. I looked casket sharp. I was too bright, so I made sure I really took my time with this one. And so I started out with the tip of my beauty sponge, and then I went to the middle, blending with the middle, and then I went to the butt a little bit. I kind of used the whole sponge to blend out my makeup, because I didn't want just to keep putting that light shade that's on the tip of my sponge, because if I did it like this throughout my whole face, it was gonna make my makeup light. So that's why I kind of used the entire side of the sponge to blend it out, if I'm making any sense. So yeah, I'm using the side of the blend to bend my forehead, and then I use the butt of it to blend it, because on the bottom is my foundation color, so I'm mixing it all in, that way I'm not looking only one shade. Just making sure I blend it out properly when I do that. And see, I got closer to the camera here because I had to make sure I get in the corners, blend it out well. I do the sides of my face. I only put a little bit because you don't want to look too, you know, chiseled at the jaw. And as I'm patting and swiping down as well. You can barely tell because I'm doing this so fast, but I'm doing this, but patting at the same time. That way I'm taking the concealer down some instead of just have it patting it in one spot. So right now I'm using the Crayon Case setting powder in the color Y, like XYZ. And yeah. And I used to bake my setting powder, but I realized it was having me look really ashy and I was getting flashback in my pictures. So I started patting it in instead of like patting it on and then letting it bake. So now I just pat it in and I feel like it makes my face look a little more natural, and it sets better that way too. You see I tap my top above my lip and in my chin, and then I'm going around the sides where I concealed it, making sure I pat it in good. It looks good. Now on right here I'm using the same contour. I always use the same powder. I put a lot right there, and when I went back and looked at it, I was like, oh no, you'll see my face when I do it. See, I was like, oh no. So once I went back and kind of cut it a little bit with the setting powder, and I fixed it then. And if you have a double chin, that is what the contouring helps with. Like if you kind of gained some weight with the contour, you're giving yourself a V shape. That way when somebody looks directly at you, you can't see your double chin. If you look up, you'll see it a little bit, but contouring your chin helps that. Especially if you have a fat face, it'll really give you that chiseled look. And now right now I'm just taking a brush and just mixing everything together. I didn't add any powder to my brush. I'm just swiping the excess setting powder off and mixing everything in. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Now I am out of setting spray, so that's why I came out like Windex instead of like a mist. Your setting spray is supposed to come out like a mist, that way you can't see the spots of where you set your face at. But I'm almost out, like I'm out of product, so that's why I came out like Windex, which I cannot stand. That's why I was like, ugh, it's all on my eyelid and stuff, but because now you're not really supposed to see it. If you can see it like that and they come out like Windex, then you need to get a new bottle. Hint, I need to get a new bottle. Right now, if you haven't noticed, when I was doing my makeup, I have a mole on my nose and up under my eye, so I darken them because they get covered with the makeup. But the one above my lip and on my chin isn't real. I just put one right there because I think it's cute. So anytime I do my lipstick or lip gloss, I always use black liner first. I overline them just a little bit because the way my lips are shaped, I can't stand seeing women put their liner above, like under the crease of their lip. I do on it and a little above it. That's what helps make your lips look bigger, especially if you have small, thin lips. And always put chapstick on it before you do your lips, because you don't want chapped lips. And if you're wearing matte lipstick, make sure you especially you do that, because your lipstick gonna be creasing and stuff. So I used that brown pencil I got first. Then I went in with that pink shade of lipstick. I don't even know what shade that is. I found that in the hair store or Walmart or something like that. I think it was Walmart. Yeah, that's the pink shade. You can barely see it, but that's what I like about it. It's not too much. It's like a shimmer color. And then I went back in so you can really see like the outline of my lip. Not bold, but you know, you can. I want you to see the transition. And then add that pink in there. I'm blending them lips together, baby. And then I'm just adding some regular gloss on it. And make sure I don't put too much. That's why I'm only kind of swiping the front and the back. And look, she doing. That girl fine as a mug. Yeah. Period. Yes, I look good, honey. Look good. Look to the side, honey. Yes. All right, y'all. That's it. Bye.